Here is the Daily Yahoo for today, Sunday, June 14th. Melania Trump used newfound leverage to redo prenup after election win, New Book says. When the First Lady stayed in New York City after the inauguration, she said it was for Barron's schooling, but there's more to it. Okay, I don't see her divorcing President Trump. Chicago cops caught on camera napping, relaxing in lawmaker's office during protests. They even had the unmitigated gall to make coffee for themselves and to pop popcorn, my popcorn, in my microwave, said Representative Bobby Bush from HuffPost. I wonder when the last time they had slept was. 1 day? 2 days? When was the last time they ate? Fuckers. Not the police. No, they're not. This representative and the people at HuffPost and anybody else who's criticizing this. Artists around the world pay tribute to George Floyd. At the Berlin Wall, a large portrait of Floyd is seen alongside yellow block letters spelling, "I can't breathe," words he repeated before dying as a white Minneapolis police officer knelt on his neck for nearly 9 minutes. The May 25th incident captured on camera, blah, 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 blah. It's not necessary. People just want something to do, and they keep devoting their time to whatever pops up, even if it's not really worth their time. India's Zydus Cadila to make Gilead's potential COVID-19 drug remdesivir. Indian drug maker Zydus Cadila said on Friday it signed a non-exclusive licensing pact with Gilead Sciences, Inc. to manufacture and market antiviral drug remdesivir, the first treatment to show improvement in COVID-19 trials. Zydus, listed as Cadila Healthcare, joins other Indian pharmaceutical companies, blah, 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 and something else, blah, 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 from Reuters. Okay, progress, that's good. Heavy rains batter Cape Town during South African storms. Heavy rains batter Cape Town during South African storms on Thursday, June 11th. Okay. Donald Trump is too small to meet the moment in new Joe Biden attack ad. And Joe Biden would have been big enough to meet the moment. The Biden campaign slams the president's response to anti-racism protests with its latest spot. No matter what you say about him, you can never, ever, ever prove that Joe Biden can do better, because he can't. Featured, unlimited plan, unlimited you, skateboard streaming, hashtag foodie pic posting, bird meme sharing. Whatever you're into, be more into it with Yahoo Mobile. We hook you up with unlimited data, text, and talk on Verizon's 4G LTE network, and hang up on annual contracts and hidden fees. What's hot? Ooh, it's affordable RV insurance quotes with Yahoo Search. Or it's comparing electric rates with Yahoo Search. Trending now, Black Lives Matter, Ashley Mattingly, coronavirus, Dakota Fanning, Rosario Dawson, fire pit covers, Joanna Garcia, home alarm systems, Vanessa Hudgens, OSHA courses. Okie dokie. And lastly, we have the Daily Yahoo from yesterday. NYPD lieutenant apologizes to colleagues for kneeling during protest. Lieutenant Robert Catani told his colleagues he had trouble sleeping after he made a horrible decision to give in to a crowd of protesters' demands. Awesome. Let's read this. A lieutenant with the New York City Police Department who knelt alongside George Floyd protesters apologized for doing so in an email to his colleagues, writing, "The cop in me wants to kick my own ass." In a June 3rd email obtained by NBC New York, the officer, Lieutenant Robert Catani, said his kneeling with protesters goes against every principle and value that I stand for. Catani was among at least 4 officers who submitted to demonstrators' chants of NYPD take a knee. Oh, clever. During a May 31st protest in Lower Manhattan, according to the New York Post, which first reported the email. Straighten your teeth with Smile Direct Club. The police lieutenant told his colleagues in the email that he had trouble sleeping after he made a horrible decision to give in to a crowd of protesters' demands and kneeled alongside several other officers. The symbolic pose gained prominence in 2016 after Colin Kaepernick, then quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, began kneeling during the national anthem before games to protest racial inequality and police brutality against people of color. That would be in 2019, it was nine unarmed black men killed all year. But anyway, in his email, and being unarmed, by the way, does not necessarily mean that you are not dangerous. In his email, Ketanji said he knelt to appease protesters. The conditions prior to the decision to take a knee were very difficult as we were put center stage with the entire crowd chanting, he wrote. And you folded. Literally, haha. I know I made the wrong decision, he added. We didn't know how the protesters would have reacted if we didn't and were attempting to reduce any extra violence. He said he thought that by kneeling, maybe one protester/rioter who saw it would later think twice about fighting or hurting a cop. Ketanji said he spent the first part of his career working to build a reputation as a good cop and that he threw that all in the garbage on May 31st. I know that it was wrong and something I will be ashamed and humiliated about for the rest of my life, he wrote. Protesters across the country and around the world have called for greater police accountability since George Floyd, a 46-year-old African-American man, died after a white Minneapolis police officer knelt on his neck for more than 8 minutes on May 25th. The officer, Derek Chauvin, has been fired and charged with second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter. Exactly, so why are we still complaining about this particular thing? I know, yes, okay, it's worth complaining about because it shouldn't have happened, like I've said 100 times before. But this particular situation is being remedied. You are getting justice. You can stop calling for justice for this because you're getting justice for this. And while some change may be called for, such as at least minimizing this whole qualified immunity thing and increasing accountability among police, you gotta be measured in your change. You gotta be moderate. You gotta not do stupid shit like completely removing police forces. 3 other officers involved in the arrest were also fired and faced charges of aiding and abetting murder. Exactly. Ketanji was not the only officer in New York City to take a knee with protesters. The city's top uniformed officer, Chief of Department Terrence Monahan, joined hands with and knelt alongside protesters in Washington Square Park on June 1st. He drew praise from Mayor Bill de Blasio, who tweeted later that day, "We're lucky to have people like Chief Monahan wearing the uniform. He believes in neighborhood policing with all his heart." But some others, such as the city's public advocate Jumaine Williams, have been critical of the gesture by people who have not been active in the racial justice movement. Well, yeah, because it could be seen as just token placating. In reference to recently introduced police reforms in New York, Williams said on AM Joy on MSNBC this week, "It should not have taken 8 or 9 days of unrest on these issues we have been speaking about for such a long time. All of the people who now find it easy to take a knee because of the unrest many years ago were excoriating people like Colin Kaepernick." Yeah, they're hypocritical and cowardly, hypocritical and cowardly. They should still be standing up, excoriating some people. The people who deserve excoriation. Writer Roxane Gay tweeted on June 5th, "I need cops and politicians and white people more broadly to stop kneeling. We don't need you to kneel. We need you to stand up for real, radical, sustained change." Well, you never can satisfy people because you're getting different instructions from all different directions. NYPD Commissioner Dermot Shea, meanwhile, in speaking directly to officers on Thursday, said they needed to listen to public sentiment and understand why people are protesting, NBC New York reported. "We understand why." "I've heard police officials this week talking about how could people feel this way," Shea said. "The quicker we realize that, the quicker we get to a solution." 2 NYPD officers have been suspended without pay for conduct during the Floyd protests. One of them, Vincent D'Andrea, was seen in a video shoving a woman to the ground on May 29th at a demonstration in Brooklyn. He was charged Tuesday with misdemeanor assault, criminal mischief, harassment, and menacing. Okie dokie. George Floyd death. Is Trump in trouble for stance on U.S. race relations? The ground is rapidly shifting on a cultural fight that Mr. Trump has relished in the past. BBC. What the fuck do you know, BBC? You're not even here. Yes, I'm sure some of them are here. Whatever. Wall Street week ahead. Investors bet bounce in value stocks will stick. As the U.S. economy begins to emerge from the sharp slowdown during the coronavirus panic, some fund managers have been drawn to value stocks, a sector that underperformed during the recent rally. Where was I? A sector that underperformed during the recent rally. Value stocks, which typically sport lower price-to-earnings valuations, tended to underperform growth stocks. From Reuters. I'm sure that's an interesting read for people who know about that stuff. Jessica Mulroney's reality TV show is dropped after her response to accusations of white privilege. I respect the decision of CTV and have decided to step away from my professional engagements at this time, she said in a statement. I'm going to take this time to reflect, learn, and focus on my family. Because she had a professional disagreement with another person who happened to be black. Prince Charles, Camilla, to mark de Gaulle wartime broadcast with France's Macron. Prince Charles and his wife Camilla will welcome French President Emmanuel Macron next Thursday to mark the 80th anniversary of Charles de Gaulle's radio appeal to his countrymen to resist Nazi occupation. The celebrations will offer a boost to ties between Britain and France. Exclusive. Trump aims to sidestep another arms pact to sell more U.S. drones. Well, we could use the money at this point with all the money you're trying to give away to individuals and small businesses, which I know they need. We could use some more, but yeah. The Trump administration plans to reinterpret a Cold War-era arms agreement between 34 nations with the goal of allowing U.S. defense contractors to sell more American-made drones to a wide array of nations, 3 defense industry executives and a U.S. official told Reuters. Join us for Healthcare Sector Takes on COVID-19. You're invited to the next Yahoo Finance Premium webinar taking place tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time / 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Learn how industry leaders are taking on the global panic in the areas of testing, treatment, and vaccine development. Reserve your spot today. That's not what you do to remedy panic. Just saying. What's hot? Oh, it's Yahoo Search. Blah, blah, blah. Black Lives Matter, number 1 still. Hillary Burton. Coronavirus, number 3 still. Brandon Blackstock. Gloria Steinem. Roof replacement prices. Barbara Fedida, Cara Delevingne, EIN application, African fat flusher. Okay, that's it for today. And if you have gleaned any bit of intelligence or entertainment from this, or if you were just watching it all, subscribe. Be kind, subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.